Welcome back to Local Lifestyles. Well, as parents seek to support children who are learning to hold their own in today's divided society, they need reassuring and consistent information on how to keep their family going in that right direction. So here to share more about her new book, Steadfast Parenting, How to Raise Children of Character, is author and educator Patricia McGann. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning.
We're so glad to have you with us this morning. Let's start off with why you chose to write this book.
Well, after years in education and raising my own 5 children and watching them raise my grandchildren, I see that there's an avalanche of demands and challenges for parents these days. And I wanted to provide a little advice and some encouragement as parents refer back to the book, reminding them to keep their eye on the prize, which is, of course, that precious child they've been given, and to help them to trust themselves and trust the process and stay in the moment with their children.
And that's, in this day and age, that's one of the hardest things to do, I think, to stay in the moment. So what makes your book, Patricia, different than other parenting books?
Well, I think that focus on the process rather than the product. I think we get a lot of messages that we have to produce perfect children who will go to wonderful colleges and get great jobs and take care of us in our old age. And we lose sight of the fact that right now we have children in front of us who need us. The other thing is that I don't think there's a lot of grandmother perspective out there. And I think it can help sometimes to have somebody who's been through it for many years to encourage you.
I think you're exactly right. You've been through it with your own children, and like you said, now you're watching your kids and how they're dealing with, and how it's probably different from when you were parenting. Tell us why you think now character development is so important for children, really now more than ever.
Well, our society gives our children lots of messages, and they're not always messages that agree with the ones we have. We have certain values for our children, and we have to be very explicit about what they are, because the society tells us, you know, you're entitled to have what you want, and you can be aggressive and you can push people out of the way to get where you want to go. Where as parents, we want to raise children who are respectful, children who are humble, children who are compassionate. And if we don't say that explicitly and then live it so that our kids can see what it looks like, then they will not be people of good character. And this is why we have to remain steadfast.
And I think something that we see these days in children more and more is anxiety and depression. What do you think are some of those factors that's causing an increase in that?
Well, I think the 24-hour exposure to devices is probably the key thing. Children have devices from the time they get up in the morning, they go through the school day, at their meal time, during homework, and then many children are on their devices late into the night. And the messages they're receiving there are not always positive. And the images that they see, they think they have to live up to them, which they can't possibly do. And that's exhausting. And so children become anxious. I think right now, there's a lot of anxiety for many children around returning to school, feeling like they're missing out on things, feeling like they won't fit in. And some kids, the academics are challenging, and so they're worried about that. So I think there's a lot of factors that lead to that anxiety. Probably the most important one is that if your parents are anxious, you're going to be an anxious kid.
So, Patricia, perfect time to read your book. Tell everybody where they can find it.
You can find the book on Amazon. Okay. You can find it on barnesandnoble.com and on the publisher's website, which is Roman and Littlefield.
And it's called Steadfast Parenting. Thank you so much, Patricia, for writing it and for joining us and telling us about it this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Local Lifestyles right after this.